How's it going, everyone, and welcome back to the return of the AFC Wimbledon Road to Glory Career Mode, and welcome back to Season 6, the penultimate season of this series. This will indeed be the last season that we're doing with Wimbledon, and if you are excited for the return of this series for one more season, then make sure you leave a like on the video. If we can get over 70 likes on this video, then that will show me that you guys are really hyped for Season 6. The main aim that we will be having for this season is to try and win the Champions League title. Last season, we ended up winning the Premier League title by a huge margin of 13 points. We really did do well in that season, only losing 3 games, 24 wins, 11 draws. I really think that we can do the same again next season. I'm looking forward to seeing what we can do in the league, but domestic-wise and also European competition-wise, I feel like we do need to improve. Just a bit of a refresher, we ended up losing to Marseille in the final of the Europa League, which was pretty devastating, considering how well we did to get to the final in the first place, beating Monaco 6-0 on aggregate, and also beating Napoli 4-2. To then end up losing in the final to Marseille was pretty gutting, but that's what we want to change in the final season of this career mode. We want to see if we can win bigger European competition, that being the Champions League obviously, but my main aim really is to try and do better domestically, try and win the FA Cup if it's possible, and the Capital One Cup, and also try and win the Champions League as well. We did pretty well to get to the semi-finals of the Capital One Cup last season, but we ended up getting knocked out by Spurs again. So we didn't really do too well domestically, but I'm hoping next season we can improve that. But before we do end off the season here with Wimbledon, I thought it would be good to take a little look at some of the stats. We've got Harry Kane finishing as top scorer there for Spurs, with Ronaldo sitting in 4th, only on 13 goals. Skank, he had a bit of a dry spell towards the end of the season. Otherwise, he would have ended up finishing top, I reckon. The goals do seem to be spread out quite a lot though, with a lot of players scoring 9 and 8 goals respectively. You'd expect Daniel Sturridge to be amongst the goals rather than the assists, but he finished as top assister in the Premier League. Clean sheets wise, it was only going to be one person that was going to win this, and obviously it is going to be Joe Sears, our absolute mammoth goalkeeper in net. Aaron Ramsey picked up 4 red cards in total over the Premier League season, so he's a bit of a dirty boy. He wasn't really doing too well for himself. I thought it would be interesting to take a little look at our youth academy, see what players we've got in here and if there's any ones that we should be promoting. I feel like we do need to promote Emilio Vilna, because otherwise I've got a feeling he might leave the academy. And taking a little look at Emilio Vilna's stats, he's got pretty good physical stats to begin with, which is very, very important for a youth player. And he's got pretty poor weak foot and skill moves actually. I thought they'd be a bit better. But he's got low high work rates, which is perfect. He's 6'1" as well, so I can't really complain too much. I'm only going to be showing the in-game stats of the players in this squad report instead of their growth of their stats. I'll save that to the start of next season, and we can take a little look at all the players' stats then. Joe Sears ended up playing most of the games for us though. He's 83 at the age of 21. We also have Callum Patterson, who did pretty well at right back, scoring 2 goals in 17 appearances, which isn't too shabby. John Soutar, forever a rock at CDM. He really is such a quality midfielder. Eric Horgan, despite his injury, ended up playing 61 games this season. A bit of a peripheral player in the squad, but still went up by +5 is Jack Wolford, Ashley Cole's regen. We also have a City who got 6 assists in the Europa League in 14 appearances. Aaron Platt, obviously a very good youth player for us, and again he's got some good stats there for a CDM. He's averaging a clean sheet every other game in the Premier League, which is pretty good. Hector Villalba, despite having a good season in my books, didn't end up growing at all, despite getting 12 goals and 11 assists. Maitland-Niles again didn't grow despite getting 6 goals, 6 assists. We've got James Maddison though, who did end up growing, but I wasn't really too impressed by him. I thought he was a bit clunky. Dominic Solanke started off the season fantastically, but sort of hit a dry spell mid-season. He still managed to get 19 goals though in all competitions. Strandberg up to an 80 at the age of 20, which is good. We've also got this guy here who's going to be a very good talent for the future, but it's a shame that we're not going to be able to use him. Ben Harrison, again, a very, very peripheral role this season. Despite Adam Armstrong's rotational role this season in the squad, he managed to get 15 goals in 32 appearances, most of those being off the bench, which is very, very impressive. We might need to get a better backup goalkeeper next season if we're going to be really competing to win the Champions League. Roy Silva not really growing there. Yannick Vestergaard up to an 81, and again, he's another player that was just really, really impressing me. Despite the fact that he's got really low pace, he's sort of my Mertesacker really. He's a good rock at the back. Julian Draxler we signed from Wolfsburg in January, and he had a pretty productive spell in the Premier League, getting 3 goals and 4 assists in his maiden season. Oyama really didn't play this season whatsoever. He's probably a player that I will sell next season. Drogba's regen, not really getting too many goals or assists there for his number of games that he did play, but he did play a lot of games at left mid. Mattia Pacini will be another player that I'll sell next season. Joe Roberts, he was a very, very good player as well. Once again, a very rotational player, but at 16 and 69 overall, that is pretty solid for him. We've got some other players here, some youth players that we're not really playing. Gabriel Miranda up to a 79 at the age of 19. I've been training him a lot, but that's because his physical stats were messed up to begin with. Got some other youth players here as well if you are interested to see them. I'm only going to be skipping over them. Dominic Iorfa did very well this season, not growing unfortunately. Billy King, still yet to decide what to do with him. Same with Matthew Grimes. And also for Tommy Hoban, I probably will sell him. Jordan Obita on a free from Reading this season really did impress me a lot. Oscar Yara on loan at Barcelona. And then we've got a load of loan players here that have grown very, very nicely, which is good to see. Since it is our last season, I don't know if I'm really going to be using Grant Davidson, even though he's got good potential and he's already a good overall. I'm not going to be using him, so I just don't think it's worth offering him a contract. But for Billy King, I will offer him a contract. And yes, I know, I'm a sentimental prick. Why am I doing this? But in all honesty, I think it would be cool to bring him off the bench in the Champions League final if we end up getting that far. And then he could just come off the bench, lift up the trophy with the rest of the team. And that would be a really good way to end off the series. Because obviously he's been here since the beginning. And although he's not going to get any game time next season, it's a bit of a John Joe O'Toole situation. If any of you watch my Bristol Rovers series, you'd know what I'm talking about. But there we have it. That's going to be the end of Season 5. And we're finally going to be going into Season 6 of this career mode. And it's great to see that the board seem happy with the way things went as well. And finally, we are now into Season 6 of this career mode. And looking at what we've got objective-wise and also budget-wise, we'll take a little look at that. They want us to reach the round of 16 of the Domestic Cup, which is completely doable. They've given us a budget of 36 million. I was expecting a bit more, but I can deal with that. And the board is looking for us to qualify for the Champions League, but since this is our last season, all these objectives don't really matter too much. We're going to be getting stuck right into the transfers as well. Not going too crazy, but just going in for a few initial players that I think would improve the side. Firstly, going for Daniel Bentley, playing for Levante, so obviously moved at some point from Southend to Levante, but we're going to make an offer of 4 million plus silver. I said last season that I would be making an offer for Will Davis because I really want to sign this guy. I'm currently England manager, so I know that this guy is a fantastic looking player. I'm going to be offering Dominic Iorfa as part of a swap deal, mainly because he hasn't been growing, but also he is behind Callum Patterson in the pecking order. I feel like we do need a better backup centre-back as well, and I will be making an offer for Jason Murillo. The Inter Milan defender looks perfect for what I'm looking for. It's a shame that he's recently signed a 5-year deal, because otherwise I think he would be a lot cheaper than he is. If you haven't guessed already as well, I will be offering Tommy Hoban as part of a swap deal, because he was dreadful last season. He was absolutely trash. And since it is the last season, I'm going to go and be absolutely stupid and try and sign Lionel Messi as well. I know a lot of you are probably wondering why I'm going to try and go in for him, because it's going to ruin the whole aspects of realism in this series. I just feel like we need to sign a world-class player. Obviously, he's the best player in the game, but I think if we get him, we can get him for a good price, but I'm not really too sure if we can get him for the current budget we're on. I feel like it would be a bit of fun trying to get him, but let me know in the comments and also by voting on screen right now in the top right corner whether you think we should get a financial takeover to fund this deal, because I don't feel like it's going to be accepted alone with the 36 million we have. Plus, we need to cover his wages as well. If you are a bit against this transfer and think it's just ridiculous what I'm doing right now and you think I need help, then you can comment that in the comments below. But but I feel like we just need to have a bit of fun and do something a bit different in this final season. We've got Preseason Tournament invites, and the one I'm going to go for is the European International Cup, since it has the most prize money. We do have a pre-contract arrival though, and I did forget about this deal, but we ended up signing WRLD on a pre-contract. Where is he? He's not even here. Where is he? Am I missing something? Toby Alderweireld isn't even in the squad. We signed him on a pre-contract and he's not even here. What's this about? I'm going to have to try and search for him because I signed him on a pre-contract for a reason. Where is he? Toby Alderweireld, let's have a little look. Why is he playing for Atletico Madrid? You saw that I signed him on a pre-contract. Recently arrived from Spurs for nothing. No, he didn't. He was coming to us. My God, we've been absolutely screwed over there. And as a result of that, we're going to have to go in for Jason Murillo. Not that that's a bad thing, but we would have got Alderweireld for free. I will make an offer of 10 million plus Hoban and just hope that Inter do accept this one. And for Lionel Messi, this deal is going to be very expensive to fund. They want £89 million. So I think I'm just going to have to get a financial takeover because I do want to sign this guy for the final season. Just as a bit of fun and a bit of a laugh more than anything. I think it would be pretty funny seeing Lionel Messi in a Wimbledon shirt. We do have a transfer offer accepted though for Daniel Bentley, which is brilliant news. I've been chasing this guy since season 1 of this career mode. I've never been able to get a transfer offer accepted. And finally, Levante do say yes to our offer. Hopefully, he just does go ahead and accept this one because I don't really want to give him a squad role. But since we've got so much to decide for this transfer window, I will be ending this episode off a little bit early. And the main reason behind that is because I want you guys to decide whether you think we should get a financial takeover or not. Never mind my optimistic ambition to try and sign Lionel Messi. If we want to try and get the right back we've been searching for, we're going to have to spend at least all of our budget just trying to get this player alone. But this will be the end of this episode of this career mode. And if you have enjoyed this episode, make sure you leave a like on the video and subscribe if you haven't already. Apologies for the shorter episode, but obviously we do have a lot to decide for transfer-wise and what you think we should do with the budget. Before I end off the episode, Alderweireld, you are a scumbag, you absolute piece of sh**. But apart from that, guys, I'm going to have to leave it there. And I'll see you next time for another video. Thanks for watching.